The message arrived on a Tuesday morning, a simple ping on humanity's most advanced deep space monitoring station. Within hours, every government on Earth knew the truth they had suspected for decades. Humans were not alone in the universe. Amanda Lewis stared out the viewport of the ESS horizon as the massive structure of Nexus Station came into view. The diplomatic hub of the Galactic Council was unlike anything humans had ever built, a sprawling collection of rings and spires that seemed to defy physics itself. After 6 months of message exchanges and preparation, humanity was about to meet the galactic community. Nervous? Asked Dr. Eric Peterson, joining her at the viewport. His glasses reflected the strange lights of the station. "I'd be a fool not to be," Amanda replied. 24 advanced species waiting to judge whether we deserve a seat at their table. Eric nodded. 2 years ago, I was teaching physics at Berkeley. Now I'm about to meet aliens who probably think our science is primitive finger painting. "That's why you're here," Amanda said with a small smile. "To show them we can learn." Captain Sam Morin and Maria Rodriguez joined them as the ship began final approach. Sam's military uniform was perfectly pressed, while Maria clutched a tablet containing thousands of cultural briefings compiled by Earth's best anthropologists. "Remember," Sam said quietly, "no matter what they look like or how they act, we represent all of humanity. We can't show fear." The docking procedure took 40 minutes. Earth's most advanced ship seemed tiny and fragile against the massive station. When the airlock finally opened, Amanda took a deep breath and stepped forward as humanity's chosen ambassador. The reception area was huge, with a ceiling that seemed to vanish into darkness above. 3 aliens waited for them. One had 4 arms and skin like polished copper. Another floated slightly above the floor, with translucent tendrils that glowed with soft light. The third looked almost like a giant praying mantis, with complex patterns across its exoskeleton. "Welcome to Nexus Station," said the floating being, its words somehow appearing in Amanda's mind without passing through her ears. "I am Coordinator Thiliv. The Council has been observing Earth for some time." Amanda performed the greeting they had practiced. "On behalf of Earth and all humans, we thank you for this invitation. We come seeking friendship and knowledge." The copper-skinned being made a gesture that might have been amusement. "Most new species do. Follow us. Many are eager to meet the newest potential members of our galactic community." As they walked through massive hallways, the human delegation saw dozens of different alien species. Some nodded in acknowledgement. Most simply stared. A few turned away deliberately. "Not everyone is happy we're here," Maria whispered. "They're afraid of us," Eric replied, his eyes wide as he tried to catalog every new species he saw. Sam stayed close to Amanda. "Or they're sizing us up. We're the newcomers here." They entered an enormous chamber with a circular table. Representatives of all 24 council species sat in seats designed for their unique bodies. Amanda noticed their delegation was given seats lower than the others, with poor lighting. The message was clear even before anyone spoke. Humans were at the bottom of the hierarchy here. A massive being that reminded Amanda of Earth octopi, but with iridescent skin that shifted colors, rose from the center seat. "I am Speaker Zixvar. For 40,000 years, the Galactic Council has maintained peace and order among civilized worlds. Earth has shown remarkable progress for such a young species. That is why we have invited you here." Amanda met the alien's gaze steadily. "We are honored by your attention, Speaker Zixvar." The speaker's skin rippled with blues and greens. "The Council has prepared terms for humanity's membership. You may find them different from your expectations, but I assure you, they are for the benefit of all, including Earth." As a holographic document appeared before her, Amanda felt a chill. The first line read, "Earth hereby acknowledges the supreme authority of the Galactic Council in all interstellar matters." This wasn't an invitation to join as equals. It was something else entirely. Amanda read through the document twice to make sure she understood it correctly. The rest of her team did the same, faces growing more troubled with each page. "This can't be right." Eric whispered. They're asking us to give up our independence. Speaker Zixvar's skin shifted to a deep purple. Is there a problem? Ambassador Lewis. These are standard terms for a species of your development stage. Amanda kept her face neutral despite the anger building inside her. The membership terms were nothing short of colonization in disguise. Earth would be required to surrender 40% of its mineral resources. Human military vessels would be restricted to Earth's solar system only. All advanced technology development would require council approval and supervision. And perhaps worst of all, Earth would provide a labor force for 3 of the senior council races. Speaker Zixvar, we appreciate the council's offer, Amanda said carefully. However, these terms are quite extensive. My team will need time to review them properly. A ripple of movement passed through the chamber. Several alien representatives leaned toward each other, communicating in ways the human translators couldn't catch. The mantis-like being clicked its mandibles. Time. What is there to consider? We are offering Earth protection and guidance. Sam stepped forward slightly. With respect, any agreement of this importance requires proper review. This is standard diplomatic procedure for humans. Very well, Speaker Zixvar said after a long pause. You may have 3 Earth days to review the terms. The Council is generous to new species. As they were escorted to their quarters, Maria moved close to Amanda. Did you see how surprised they were when we didn't immediately accept? They expected us to be grateful, Sam added, his voice low. Like we should thank them for the opportunity to become their servants. Their quarters were comfortable, but clearly designed for temporary visitors. 3 rooms with basic amenities and a common area where they could speak privately. They're monitoring us, Eric said immediately. Every word, every gesture. Amanda nodded. Assume everything we say and do is being watched. Even so, we need to discuss these terms. For hours, they pored over every line of the document. The more they read, the worse it looked. Hidden clauses revealed that Earth would essentially become a protectorate with little real authority even over its own affairs. This isn't a negotiation, Amanda said finally. It's an ultimatum disguised as diplomacy. The next morning, Amanda requested a meeting with a council representative to ask questions. A blue-skinned being named Laurel from the Tellarite species arrived. These resource quotas, Amanda began. They would cripple Earth's economy and industrial development. Laurel blinked slowly with triple eyelids. New species always focus on the short term. Think of the knowledge you will gain in return. Knowledge with restrictions, Eric pointed out. According to Section 12, we're forbidden from developing certain technologies independently. For safety reasons, Laurel replied smoothly. Young species often hurt themselves without proper guidance. Every question received a similar answer. The council knew best. Earth should be grateful. The terms were non-negotiable. After Laurel left, Amanda gathered her team. They've been doing this for thousands of years, finding developing worlds, bringing them in under terrible terms, and slowly extracting their resources. Maria nodded. The cultural data suggests a rigid hierarchy. They genuinely believe less advanced species should serve more advanced ones. So what do we do? Sam asked. We can't accept these terms. Amanda looked out at the vast station, feeling the weight of humanity's future on her shoulders. Tomorrow we meet with the full council again. They expect us to accept their offer, or perhaps beg for minor adjustments. And if we don't? Eric asked. Amanda's expression hardened. No one seems to have considered that possibility, which means it might be our only leverage. Amanda barely slept that night. The council had existed for 40,000 years. In all that time, had any species ever refused their terms? The data they had access to showed no examples of rejection. Every current member had simply accepted their place in the hierarchy. Are we ready? She asked as her team gathered in their common room the next morning. Sam nodded. The ship is prepared for immediate departure if necessary. I still think this is risky, Eric said. We don't know how they'll react. Sometimes the only way to win a rigged game is to stop playing, Amanda replied. Maria, are you certain about the cultural analysis? Maria nodded. Yes, their society values stability and order above all. The unexpected disturbs them deeply. That's our advantage. They walked to the council chamber together, 4 humans amid a station of thousands of aliens. Many moved aside as they passed, studying the strange newcomers with multiple eyes, sensory organs, or technologies the humans couldn't comprehend. The full council was assembled when they arrived. All 24 representatives sat in their elevated positions, with Speaker HFY in the center. The chamber fell silent as the humans entered. Ambassador Lewis, the speaker, began, skin rippling with confident blues and greens. We trust you have reviewed our generous terms. The council awaits your formal acceptance. Amanda stepped forward alone. She had practiced this moment all night, knowing exactly how to stand, where to look, how to speak. Every detail mattered. Speaker HFY, esteemed members of the Galactic Council, she began, her voice clear and steady. On behalf of Earth and all humanity, I thank you for this opportunity to address you. Several council members shifted, clearly expecting the standard acceptance speech they had heard countless times before. After careful consideration of the membership terms offered to Earth, I must inform you that we are unable to accept. The silence that followed was absolute. Not a movement, not a sound. Even Speaker HFY seemed frozen, skin suddenly pale and still. To be clear, Amanda continued into the silence. Earth does not reject friendship with the galactic community. We simply cannot accept terms that would reduce our world to a subordinate status. A wave of murmurs and clicks and whistles swept through the chamber. The mantis-like being rose from its seat. This is unprecedented. No species has ever declined council membership. Perhaps no species has been presented with these particular terms before, Amanda replied calmly. Or perhaps none had the courage to walk away from an unfair offer. Speaker HFY's skin flashed angry reds and oranges. You misunderstand your position, Ambassador. Earth is young and vulnerable. The Council offers protection in a dangerous galaxy. Amanda smiled slightly. We appreciate your concern. However, humanity has survived many dangers already. We will face the future on our own terms. She nodded to her team. As one, they began gathering their materials. The simple act of packing up, while the council watched in shock, sent a clear message. What are you doing? Demanded a reptilian council member. We are returning to Earth, Amanda explained as if it were obvious. Since we cannot reach an agreement, we see no reason to extend our stay. Eric, Sam, and Maria formed up behind her. Together, they walked toward the chamber's exit, while 24 of the galaxy's most powerful beings watched in stunned silence. Just before leaving, Amanda turned and placed a small data cube on a nearby table. This contains Earth's contact information, should the Council wish to discuss a genuine partnership in the future. As the doors closed behind them, they heard the chamber erupt into chaos. Voices shouted over each other in multiple languages as the humans walked steadily away. I can't believe we just did that, Eric whispered. Believe it, Amanda replied. Now we need to reach our ship before they decide to stop us. As they hurried through the corridors of Nexus Station, the word spread rapidly among the alien observers. The humans were leaving. They were walking away from the Galactic Council itself. Chaos erupted in the council chamber the moment the humans left. Speaker HFY's skin flashed rapidly through colors as the ancient leader tried to restore order. Silence. Silence. The speaker's voice boomed through the chamber. This is most irregular, but not a crisis. A bird-like alien with shimmering feathers stood up. Not a crisis. In 40,000 years, no species has ever walked away from this table. What if others follow their example? The humans are bluffing, said the mantis-like council member. They will return within days, begging for protection. The Artaxian trade representative, who resembled a giant moth, fluttered its wings anxiously. You are missing the economic implications. If Earth establishes independent trade with non-council worlds, it disrupts thousands of supply agreements. Accusations flew across the chamber as council unity collapsed. Some blamed the speaker for offering such harsh terms. Others insisted humans were simply too primitive to understand the honor they have been offered. In a private chamber adjacent to the main hall, Speaker HFY met with 5 senior council members. "This is your failure, Speaker," said Supreme Commander Drex of the Vex Imperium, a heavily armored being whose actual body remained hidden behind mechanized plating. "Your arrogance has created this situation." "My arrogance?" HFY's skin darkened. The terms were unanimously approved by this very group, the standard terms we have used for 8,000 years. Laurel of the Tellerates blinked slowly. "Perhaps that is the problem. The humans are different. We should have recognized this." "Different or not, they remain primitive," said Supreme Commander Drex. "I recommend immediate military action. A single warship could force Earth's compliance." "And violate our most sacred principles?" asked Laurel. "The Council has never forced membership through military means." While the leadership argued, Council archivists frantically searched records dating back millennia. Had this ever happened before? What was the protocol for a species that rejected membership? They found nothing. Meanwhile, intelligence officers from 12 different species sent urgent messages to their governments. The humans were unpredictable. This changed everything. On the main council floor, the arguments continued. "What if they share advanced technology with the outsiders?" asked a silicon-based being whose body resembled a crystal formation. The term outsiders sent a fresh wave of concern through the chamber. For thousands of years, a small number of species had existed outside council control: nomadic civilizations, reclusive species, and those who had been deemed unsuitable for membership. "We must send a delegation to Earth immediately," suggested one representative. "Offer slightly better terms." "No, we must isolate them completely," countered another. "Show them the consequences of rejection." As the debate raged, a quiet, elderly representative of the observers, one of the oldest council species, raised a 4-fingered hand. The chamber gradually fell silent. "Perhaps," the observer said in a raspy voice, "we should consider what truly frightens us about this situation. Is it that the humans rejected our terms, or is it that they showed us our terms are rejectable?" Uncomfortable silence followed this question. On the other side of Nexus Station, the human delegation boarded their ship without opposition. No one tried to stop them. No one seemed to know what to do about them. "Departure clearance has been granted," Sam reported from the pilot's seat. "Apparently, no one wants to make this situation worse by detaining us." Amanda nodded. "Good. Take us home." As the ESA Horizon pulled away from Nexus Station, hundreds of alien eyes watched through viewports and monitoring systems. "What do you think they'll do?" Eric asked. "They'll panic," Maria answered. "Their entire system is based on everyone accepting their hierarchy. We just showed them it's possible to say no." Amanda looked back at the shrinking station, and that's the most dangerous idea of all. In the council chamber, Speaker HFY finally restored some semblance of order. This council has faced many challenges in its long history. The humans are just one primitive species. Their actions change nothing. But as the emergency session continued long into the night, everyone present knew something fundamental had changed. The humans had walked away from the table, and the Galactic Council didn't know what to do about it. 6 months passed since the human delegation returned to Earth. Amanda stood at the window of her new office in Geneva, looking at the mountains in the distance. As Earth's Director of Interstellar Relations, she now led humanity's response to a galaxy that had expected submission but received defiance instead. "The Proxima Centauri colony ship launches tomorrow," Sam said as he entered her office. He wore a new uniform with the Earth Defense Force insignia. "First human settlement outside our solar system." Amanda nodded. "Any sign of Council interference?" "None. Our long-range sensors show they're watching from a distance, but they haven't approached. Eric burst into the room, excitement clear on his face. It works. The quantum communication array works. Amanda and Sam turned to him. Eric had been working day and night on technology the Council had deemed impossible for species at Earth's development stage. "You're sure?" Amanda asked. "Absolutely. We can now communicate instantly with ships and colonies anywhere in the galaxy. No more waiting months for messages to travel at light speed." Eric grinned. The Council said this technology was at least 500 years beyond our capability. They underestimated human motivation, Sam said with a smile. Nothing drives innovation like being told you can't do something. Maria entered with a tablet displaying the latest diplomatic updates. 3 more non-council species have contacted us seeking trade agreements. They call themselves the Outsiders and seem quite eager to establish relations with Earth. Amanda studied the information. The Council's grip on galactic trade isn't as absolute as they claimed. On her desk sat reports detailing Earth's progress since rejecting Council membership. Human ships had explored 12 nearby star systems. Scientists had made breakthroughs in areas the Council had planned to restrict. The first independent colony would soon be established. Earth's military had expanded but maintained a strictly defensive posture. "The Council spy ships are getting bolder," Sam noted. "They're moving closer to our outposts, watching everything we do." "Let them watch," Amanda replied. "They need to see we can thrive without their guidance." A soft alert sounded from Maria's tablet. "Interesting. We just received a message from a Council member. The Tellarites want to discuss a private trade agreement outside of Council oversight." Amanda raised an eyebrow. "That's new. The Council specifically forbids independent agreements." "Looks like Laurel is testing the waters," Maria said. "And there's more. 2 other Council races have sent similar requests through back channels." Eric looked concerned. "Could be a trap. Or it could be the first crack in their unified front," Amanda suggested. "We'll proceed carefully, but we won't turn them away." Sam checked his security monitor. "We should discuss the latest intelligence. Our deep space probes detected unusual Council fleet movements near the Arcturus sector." Amanda nodded and activated the secure room protocols. The windows darkened and electronic countermeasures engaged to prevent eavesdropping. "They're still debating what to do about us," Maria reported. "Our sources indicate the Council is divided into 3 factions. The moderates want to offer us better terms. The isolationists want to cut us off completely. And the hardliners want to make an example of us," Sam finished. "Supreme Commander Drex has been pushing for military action since day 1. Amanda considered this information. "How ready are our defenses?" "We can protect Earth and our solar system," Sam replied. "But our new colonies would be vulnerable to a full Council fleet." Amanda walked to the large star map on her wall. Hundreds of dots represented known civilizations, most under Council control. Earth was just one small point of light, but its glow seemed to be spreading. "6 months ago, they thought we would come crawling back," she said quietly. "Now they're sending secret messages and watching our every move. We've changed the game just by walking away from their table." Eric nodded. "The question is, what happens next?" Amanda turned to face her team. "Next, we build our own table. And we make sure everyone gets an equal seat." Outside her window, the lights of Geneva shone brightly against the coming night. Somewhere up there, Council observers watched and wondered what the unpredictable humans would do next. 1 year after the humans walked away from the Galactic Council, the Grand Council chamber was no longer the calm, orderly place it had been for thousands of years. Today, representatives shouted over each other as Speaker Zixvar struggled to maintain control. "The humans have established trade with the crystalline mines," exclaimed the Artaxian trade minister, wings fluttering in distress. "A Council species has never traded with those silicon outsiders before. Worse, they've signed mutual defense agreements with the drifters," added another representative. "The very nomads we've kept at the edges of civilized space for millennia." Speaker Zixvar's skin had lost its vibrant colors over the past year, now showing mainly tired grays and pale blues. We must remain unified in our approach to Earth. Supreme Commander Drex slammed a metal-clad limb on the table. Unified. 3 council species have already broken ranks to sign private agreements with the humans. The accused representatives shifted uncomfortably. The Tellarites, the Morsian Collective, and the gas giants of Ursa had all secretly established relations with Earth. When exposed, they had defended their actions as necessary economic adaptation. Laurel of the Tellarites stood. Perhaps it is time to acknowledge that our approach has failed. The humans are not following the expected pattern. They are expanding rapidly without our guidance, developing technologies we claimed were beyond them, and building alliances we never anticipated. They're dangerous, Drex insisted. We should have deployed the fleet when they first rejected our terms. And start the first council war in 12,000 years. Laurel countered. The humans have done nothing aggressive. They simply refused subordination. On Earth, Amanda reviewed the latest intelligence reports with her team. The Council's internal crisis had grown worse with each passing month. 17 council members now want to open direct talks with us, Maria reported. They're tired of the deadlock and afraid of losing access to human markets and technology. Sam nodded. And our defensive capabilities have expanded significantly. Even Drex's hardliners recognize they'd face serious losses in any military action against Earth now. Eric looked up from his datapad. Our trade network with the outsider species has created an alternative economy that's growing faster than the Council-controlled markets. The crystalline mines alone have provided access to computational systems light years beyond what the Council allowed their members to develop. Amanda smiled. All because we walked away from a bad deal. A call came through on their secure channel. The face that appeared on screen was Laurel of the Tellarites. Director Lewis, I speak unofficially, Laurel began. A significant faction within the Council wishes to extend a new invitation to Earth. Different terms. Equal membership. A significant faction, but not the full Council. Amanda asked. Laurel's triple eyelids blinked slowly. The Council is experiencing the first major split in our history. The old order is struggling with change. We're willing to talk, Laurel, but only as equals, and with all of our new allies included in any discussions. After the call ended, Sam looked concerned. Can we trust them? No, Amanda replied, but we can verify everything. And this split gives us leverage we didn't have before. Maria checked her cultural analysis. The Council system has never faced this kind of challenge. Their entire hierarchy was based on the assumption that less advanced species would accept their place. We changed that assumption, Eric said proudly. Amanda walked to the star map, which now showed a growing network of green lines connecting Earth to both former Council worlds and outsider species. What the Council had never understood was that humans had centuries of experience with resisting colonization and unfair power structures on their own world. Send a message to all our allies, Amanda told her team. Earth will host an open diplomatic conference in 3 months. All species welcome. Council membership not required. Sam smiled. Setting up our own table. Exactly, Amanda replied. And everyone gets an equal seat. In the council chamber, Speaker Zixvar stared at the empty seats where 3 representatives had walked out after declaring they would attend the Earth Conference independently. For the first time in 40,000 years, the Galactic Council was losing its grip on power, all because the humans had simply walked away. The drifter ship was unlike anything humans had seen before. It resembled a massive silver leaf gliding through space, its surface constantly shifting and rippling. Inside, Amanda and her team met with the representatives of what the Council called outsiders. For 10,000 years, the Council has controlled all major trade routes, said Drift Captain Narration, a tall being with pale blue skin and eyes that seemed to contain swirling galaxies. They feared our freedom, so they called us uncivilized. The meeting chamber contained delegates from 3 distinct non-council civilizations: the nomadic drifters who had traveled the galaxy for millennia without a home world, the crystalline minds, silicon-based beings who communicated through light and vibration, and the enigmatic deep dwellers, massive entities who lived in gas giants and rarely interacted with other species. "We have all rejected council control for different reasons," Narration continued. "But we have never had a solid world power as an ally before." Eric studied the incredible technology of the drifter ship with barely contained excitement. "Your propulsion system is unlike anything in council space. They told us such drives were theoretical at best." A crystalline mind flashed patterns of light that the translator converted to words. "The council restricts technology to maintain control. They deliberately keep their member worlds dependent." Sam had been quiet, assessing the military capabilities of these potential allies. "What happens when the council realizes we're forming a formal alliance?" "They already know," said the deep dweller representative, its massive form mostly submerged in a tank of high-pressure liquid. "Their spy ships have been tracking all our movements." Amanda nodded. "Which is why we need this alliance formalized before our conference on Earth. The Free Systems Alliance will show the galaxy there's an alternative to council dominance." The negotiations continued for 3 days. Unlike the council's take-it-or-leave-it approach, these talks involved genuine give and take. By the end, the foundation for a new interstellar alliance had been created. "Equal voting rights for all member species," Amanda read from the final agreement. "Technology sharing with appropriate safety protocols. Mutual defense. Independent development rights. Cultural exchange programs." Nareen touched the document with a 6-fingered hand. "In all my centuries, I never expected to see such an alliance. The council taught its members that we outsiders were dangerous, primitive, or unstable. They taught their members many things that weren't true," Amanda replied. "That's how they maintained control." As the human delegation prepared to return to Earth, Nareen approached Amanda privately. "You should know the council is in greater turmoil than they show publicly. 7 more species are considering attending your Earth conference against the speaker's direct orders." "Thank you for the information," Amanda said. "We'll be prepared for whatever comes." Back on Earth, preparations for the conference were in full swing. A massive dome had been constructed in Geneva specifically for the historic gathering. Security was Sam's top priority, with Earth Defense Force ships positioned throughout the solar system. "We've received 31 confirmations," Maria reported during their daily briefing. 17 former council members and 14 independent species. Eric looked up from his work. "The council chamber has 50 seats. If these numbers are accurate, they're now below majority attendance." Amanda studied the latest intelligence. Speaker Zixvar has called an emergency session. Supreme Commander Drex is pushing for immediate action against what he calls the human rebellion. "Are we ready if they choose military action?" Amanda asked Sam. "As ready as we can be," he replied. "But our real strength is in numbers now. The Council would have to fight not just Earth, but a growing alliance of worlds." That evening, Amanda stood alone on the balcony of her Geneva apartment, looking up at the stars. Somewhere out there, a 40,000-year-old power structure was crumbling because humans had done the unexpected. They had walked away from a bad deal and built something better. A message alert sounded from her secure pad. She read it and smiled slightly. The remaining council had finally made their decision. They would send a delegation to Earth's conference. After a year of crisis, even Speaker Zixvar had been forced to accept the new reality. The humans had changed the rules of a game they were never supposed to win. The Geneva diplomatic dome gleamed in the morning sunlight. 3 years had passed since humans had walked away from the Galactic Council table. Today, representatives from 31 different species filled the chamber for the 3rd annual meeting of what was now called the Interstellar Cooperative. Amanda stood at the center podium, looking out at the diverse gathering. Some delegates resembled humans, while others were entirely alien. Crystalline structures, floating gas clouds, massive aquatic beings and special tanks. All were treated as equals. 3 years ago, Earth was offered membership in the Galactic Council. Amanda began. We were told to accept our place at the bottom of their hierarchy. Instead, we chose a different path. In the back of the chamber sat Speaker HFY, now representing only a fraction of the former council. His once vibrant skin had faded to pale blues and grays. Beside him were delegates from the 12 species that still maintain the old council structure. Today, we welcome our friends from the Reformed Council, Amanda continued. We hope this meeting marks a new beginning for all our civilizations. Sam, now Admiral Warren of the Earth Defense Fleet, stood near the security entrance. Never thought I'd see the day when HFY would sit in our chamber as just another delegate, he whispered to Eric. Eric nodded. The galaxy has changed more in 3 years than in the previous 1,000. The cooperative had flourished beyond anyone's expectations. Free trade routes connected formerly isolated systems. Technology sharing had accelerated development for all member worlds. The rigid hierarchy that had dominated galactic politics for 40 millennia had been replaced by something new, a community of equals. After the opening session, Amanda met privately with Speaker HFY. The once mighty leader of the galaxy seemed smaller somehow. You have destroyed the work of 40,000 years, HFY said quietly. No, Amanda replied. We helped transform it into something better. Your remaining council members are welcome to join the cooperative as equals. HFY's skin rippled with deep purple, a sign of distress. Equals, with species barely out of their stone age. With the outsiders we kept contained for good reason. That approach failed, Amanda said gently. Look around you. Trade is flourishing. Technology is advancing faster than ever. The wars and chaos you predicted never came. Because you were fortunate, HFY insisted. The council maintained order. The council maintained control, Amanda corrected. There's a difference. Later that day, Amanda joined her original team for a private moment away from the diplomatic events. Maria had become Earth's foremost expert on interspecies cultural exchange. Eric led a massive technology development program. Sam's defense fleet now served as peacekeepers alongside ships from 20 other worlds. Do you ever think about that day? Maria asked, when we just stood up and walked out. Sam smiled. Best decision we ever made. The council never understood humans, Eric added. They studied our technology but missed our history, all those centuries of resisting colonization, fighting for equality. Amanda looked out the window at the dome where delegates from across the galaxy mingled freely. We didn't just change our own future that day. We changed the galaxy's. A message arrived from the chamber. The remaining council representatives wished to speak. When Amanda and her team returned, they found Speaker HFY standing at the podium. After much consideration, the speaker announced, his voice carrying to all delegates, the remaining council worlds have voted to dissolve our separate structure and request membership in the cooperative. A murmur of surprise ran through the chamber. The last holdouts of the old order had finally conceded. We ask only that our ancient knowledge and experience be respected, HFY continued. We have much to contribute, even as equals. Amanda stepped forward to stand beside the ancient being. The cooperative welcomes you, not as rulers or subjects, but as partners. As the chamber erupted in approval, Amanda thought back to that moment 3 years ago, when 4 humans had simply walked away from an unfair table. They hadn't fired a shot. They hadn't made threats. They had just refused to accept terms that diminished them. Sometimes, the most powerful statement was simply having the courage to walk away, and the vision to build something better in its place. The old Galactic Council was gone. In its place stood a new galactic community, founded on the radical idea that all intelligent beings deserved a voice, and it had all started because humans refused to take a seat at the wrong table.